So, something I'm gonna do for a few minutes, just kind of get familiar with each other, kind of have some fun, just quick discussion.
Who are you?
Seeing that I am many things. So, kind of wanted tonight be kind of like a special kind of Halloween episode.
Also known as our life.
Right?
All year round.
Yep, 365 days a year.
Pretty much. It is currently Christmas for us.
Pretty much.
So something I want to do is kind of see what you guys, what your favorite Halloween themed kind of horror movies are.
Okay.
Just kind of go around. I mean, maybe explain why. Kind of short little discussion on that. So I mean, I can start if you guys want, or any of you guys can just jump right in. So for me, hence the shirt. Nightmare Before Christmas. I love that movie. Huge Tim Burton fan. Watched it a bunch of times since like as long as I can remember.
And it's a dual holiday movie.
Yeah.
And that's another reason
it's
too.
A dual holiday movie.
We can watch it twice a year.
So
You can
real
watch it
question,
anytime.
do you consider it a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie or
Ooh.
both?
Both.
Both. Yeah,
Both.
I'll go with
I've
that.
actually gotten into debates about this specific movie because some people see it as solely a Halloween movie, solely a Christmas movie, but it is.
People are wrong.
It's so
Those
wrong.
people are wrong, and it's
So
like
wrong.
it works as both because the first song in the movie is "This Is Halloween," and then at some point you got Jack Skellington, discovering Christmas Town. So you got your stereotypical or not stereotypical, but you got your typical like Halloween creatures
Yes.
like skeletons, zombies, werewolves, and stuff. But then you got your Christmas stuff like elves, Santa Claus, snow, reindeer. So.
Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds.
Oddly enough, I have so many favorite horror movies that I can't pick one, but recent horror movies, because recent horror movies kind of
Is it
suffer
it?
a little
Since
bit.
you've watched it.
I think honestly, best horror movie I've seen currently has probably been It, the newer one.
Yes, I saw that, and I love the original. This is coming from someone who hasn't read the book. I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Tim Curry. And can't go wrong with that man. Just a wonderful actor.
Right, which is kind of ironic because I am terrified of clowns.
So am
I am absolutely terrified of clowns. I watched It when I was 4, so that's kind of what did it for me.
Yeah, I was probably a little bit older, but.
Yeah, no, I was 4. Then I saw it in theaters and
Yeah,
See,
no. For me, I was watching this movie. I'm like, there's like before seeing it, I'm like, there's no way you can beat Tim Curry. Because he did, even though regardless of what your opinion is, I know a lot of people are not huge fans of of the original one, but everyone agrees Tim Curry did a great job. I'm like, how can you beat that? But I felt like the new Pennywise did a
Bill
fantastic.
Skarsgård?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
He did not. I feel like he didn't copy him. He really made the character his own, and he
Yes,
did
he
a really
did.
good-
Yeah, he
he did a
absolutely
really
did.
good job.
And the thing with his eyes, he actually does that. Like that's not CGI. That's his actual
Oh,
eyes.
I've seen him interviewed too,
Yeah.
so I know it's like not a fake thing they did.
No, it was so crazy.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, my favorite Halloween movie is probably Hocus Pocus, just because
Yes.
it was my all-time favorite movie when I was 5 or 6 or something. That and The Princess Bride, so I watch them all the time. But I still love it for the nostalgia factor, and I love seeing the practical effects that they use with the floorboards and stuff. But as far as scary movies go, I actually haven't seen that many. I also really liked It. Yeah,
I mean,
Sam's making a face
scary
when I'm
movies.
doing
It's like it's an acquired taste
But,
because I know plenty of people are not fans of horror movies.
I really enjoy
True.
them, but I have lots of friends who don't. So.
And
But,
you'll probably find this blasphemous, but I've never seen Hocus Pocus.
What?
You should
That,
watch it.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a movie.
All
I
Halloween
know.
long, ABC Family, or whatever it's called.
I'm 24 years old and I've never gotten around to actually seeing Hocus Pocus.
It's so good.
Oh.
It's so good.
As far
so
as
good.
scary movies go, I really like When a Stranger Calls.
The remake or
Both,
the
both.
original? Yeah.
Both are pretty.
Because I know it was like a
Which
movie in
is
the
more of a
70s.
suspense movie.
Yeah.
than,
Yeah,
like, straight up
psychological
scary,
thriller.
but-
Yeah, it's definitely a thriller. But I mean, you can get. It's one of those movies where you can get some scares.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm the same way with Silence of the Lambs. You know, it's in a way it's a thriller, but I mean it does have some horror moments in it.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I still really hate The Shining because it played at the Hawken last year.
It was also
And-
like Cucaloris last year.
Yeah, and I was trying to sleep during that movie,
Ooh.
and it does that noise every time it changes the day, and it would wake me up every time, and I get so mad.
Yeah, no, for me, that was my choice to sleep during because like the other film majors were like, "Are you crazy? Why are you sleeping during the show?" I'm like, "I've seen it a bunch of
Yeah.
times," and then also like I had seen it like a couple months before at Cucaloris, and I got to meet Stanley Kubrick's daughter, and so I was just like, I mean, I already saw it on the big screen, and so yeah. So.
So, I grew up watching horror movies. My mom hates them. She hates all things bloody and gory, and I'm the opposite.
My mom's like the horror person. So
Opposite.
she was the one that like when I was 13, I saw Nightmare Before Christmas, Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time. It
Right.
was because of her.
Right.
So
So I watched, probably was like 11 the first time I watched Nightmare on Elm Street. I watched Scream really young, but my all-time favorite is the Halloween franchise.
okay.
Not necessarily the first one. The first one is great because it's a classic.
Mhm.
But when you start getting into like 4 or 5, when you have Jamie, the little girl,
Mhm.
I love those because I think she is such a talented actress as like a 8-year-old.
Yeah.
And so that's probably my favorite in terms of classic horror movies. My favorite in terms of mockable horror movies would be the Final Destination movies. I
We
love
talked about this.
Yes, and you hate them. I know you do.
I
but
do.
I'm not a fan either.
love them
so.
because they're so ridiculous, but
Mhm.
they're extremely creative. And I'm like, that's kind of me as a person. I'm very ridiculous, but I'm very creative.
I
I
hate
can happily attest to that.
Ooh, on that one, have you ever seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I
And
have.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yes,
Yes.
I have
Yeah,
seen
you got some ridiculous ones out there. I mean,
Thanks,
a
Kelly.
couple. I'm trying to think. I mean, the most recent horror movie I've seen, and this is the one that's coming to mind, is the new Chucky movie.
Oh, Cult of
Oh,
Chucky?
Cult of
I haven't
Chucky.
watched that yet.
I
I
haven't
know
It's
it.
good. I probably like a year or so ago, I actually binge watched most of the Chucky movies. So from Child's Play 2 to Curse of Chucky, and it's like a guilty pleasure movie for me. Like
Like the Seed of Chucky. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
I mean, the
Oh,
first
so
the
fun.
first 3 are really good, and then you get into Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, where it gets just kind of ridiculous and
Yes.
humorous. And then I love both Curse and Cult of Chucky because they kind of get back to that
The roots.
the strictly horror.
Yeah.
I mean, but I was talking like this was like a few months ago. I was comparing like the Chucky movies with Leprechaun. With my mom, I was having that conversation with her, and how I prefer Chucky over the Leprechaun movies because even if you look at the first Leprechaun, they're just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, even Chucky's kind of ridiculous. It's a killer doll, but it's still kind of scary because my mom was saying like, for anyone who's listening or watching this, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I think. We've talked about how it's possible Chucky's based on Teddy Ruxpin, because it's like, Chucky, the first one came out in like the late 80s, and,
Right.
so like Teddy Ruxpin was huge, and I know a lot of people like were scared to crap at Teddy Ruxpin.
Right.
I wasn't born until 93, so I wouldn't know.
Right.
And even if I was born during that time, there was probably no way my mom would buy me a Teddy Ruxpin because she got scared to crap out of those dolls.
I used to have a corgi doll. And it was like a life-size Chucky doll that you would put an
That's what it
8-track
reminds
tape
me of.
in the back of it, and then it would actually talk like it was a real thing.
I
terrifying.
had like a Furby
Oh, Furbies.
Furbies are
Furbies
awful.
are the creepiest thing.
Furbies are
I had a Furby and that creeped my mom out. I also had.
Because he would wake up in the middle of the night and be like, "Do you want to be my friend?" And I would be like, it's like 3 in the morning, and I'm
like,
asleep,
no,
and I'm like, "Go away, Satan! Like, not today."
Yeah, and then I think this was like the late '90s, so I was like 6. But I also had that doll, like McDonald's girl, where you would feed her French fries and like hamburgers and stuff. Not like not like real burgers, but she came with like her own like plastic like cheeseburger and French fries and like soda and stuff.
It was like the Baby Alive thing.
Oh,
where
those-
like you pushed on its head and it would like go to the bathroom.
And you had to change its diaper.
You
And
had
I
to
was
change its
like,
diaper and like
"This
oh
is
my
not
god.
what I want to do
Yeah.
as a 5-year-old."
Yeah, no.
But it was like commercialization at its finest with this doll.
Oh
jeez.
yes.
But
Oh yeah.
so I think we'll move on. So I think we talked about
Yeah,
the
probably.
awesome. So
We could probably talk all day about
Yeah.
that.
probably I would too. I mean, I would talk for 2 hours, but we don't have 2 hours. We only got an hour. So the first question is it's more for you,
Okay.
or at least the first 2 are for you. So you do makeup and start. So guess like how long have you been doing makeup and like what kind of struck your interest about doing that? And
Oh boy, this story. So I've been doing special effects makeup and things like that for 8 years. 8 years this October. I started in 2009. Growing up, I was always afraid of my own shadow, and I've always been a theater kid.
yeah.
It's like the theatrics and stuff has always been a thing. But my mom was a hairdresser, so I did hair for everything.
Okay.
I did a haunted hayride in 2009, and the woman who was in charge of it, who I thank her every day because she's the reason why I am where I am right now. But she was a special effects artist, and she was a very well-known one. She had done a lot of things, gotten a lot of awards. She came up to me in the haunted house. She was like, "Hey, you're a theater kid. Here's my kit. I have 25 people that have to get done in an hour before we open. Go." Well, I was a kid in high school that wore sweatpants and a hoodie and no makeup, nothing, ever.
Mhm.
So I just kind of started playing with it, and one thing led to another, and 8 years later, here I am.
Okay.
I've done haunted houses, I've done films, I've done...
Well, I know you did makeup for my friend Alex Ayers'
Yes.
Don't Ignore Me.
I did that.
That's I'm actually looking forward to that. You know, 'cause
Yes.
we talk about it all the time. You know, because we're good friends, and I almost got to work on. I even auditioned for it, and
Nice.
because you know I was like I want to get on this project, but
Oh,
then
yeah.
I found out like the filming schedule. So my kind of like a follow up question. This is my second question. So how did so Goredolls over the last 8 years probably I'm assuming started within that time. So
Oh,
ultimately, how did that actually come to be? It's probably same story, I guess, but I mean,
It's kind of the same story. And we started in 2000. Well, I started doing makeup 2009. In 2011 or no 2012, me and my best friend at the time, Danielle, we actually built a 20,000 square foot haunted house from the ground up.
oh, okay.
And we were doing everything. She was more on the costuming side of things, whereas I was more on the makeup. So we were kind of like a really good tag team. And we decided while we were making the haunted house that we needed to have like kind of a name and something to associate ourselves with.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where Goredolls came into play. It was me and her. And then we kind of started doing that, unfortunately, given circumstances and the guy that was running that, the location with where our haunted house was, it got shut down before we opened because he couldn't he couldn't get through fire code. So then after that, we were doing a little bit of makeup and different things that way, but not doing as much as we wanted to. And then in 2014, she and I both moved down here. Now, I vacation here every year, so I knew like there was a better film community down here than there was
Absolutely.
in Maryland, from where I'm from.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, there was really just mainly Amish people and
Mhm.
other stuff. But moved down here in 2014. Met a group of people. First year we still weren't really doing too much. It was more or less trying to figure out the area and things like that. 2015, she unfortunately moved back to Maryland, and I went through the process of kind of putting myself out there as more of an independent thing instead of Goredolls, just kind of see what type of traction I could get, because I mean there's a million makeup artists that are incredible that can do like beauty stuff, but not many people that could do the crazier side of stuff that I had found. So I did that, started pushing out some of my work, gained a little bit of traction, and then 2015 I put a model and casting call out for GD 31 Days.
Uh-huh.
which is every day in the month of October, we release a different makeup design.
Uh-huh.
First year, we had like 20 models and 12 photographers, which is more than I'd ever thought we would ever get.
Uh-huh.
And then from that point, just those dropping, it just progressed from there to now
Okay.
3 years later, we're in our third year.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So-
Yeah, and like I keep seeing your stuff like online, and it's like, and I know like some of the models will be like, hey, I know that person, know that person.
Yeah,
that
there's a lot of
person.
those.
It's like, oh gee, that's a bad cut. You should go see a doctor. Oh wait, never mind. It's makeup.
It's not real. No
I-
one was hurt in the making of this.
Yeah, I did. You know, I took a makeup class in community college, and like my favorite part was doing like scars and bruises and stuff. And
And that's a good place to start.
Yeah,
If you're
and-
looking to do it, start with that.
yeah, and when we started doing that, I don't know why, but Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island was on my brain. So the day the teacher was teaching us how to do that, I went straight to like doing like the moon-shaped scar, like like Morgan Moon scar and
Right.
in that movie, and you know, and I remember I had to go right to work after that, and I had to go to the bathroom and wash all the makeup off, and had a moment where I was actually kind of proud of myself because I don't think of myself being really good with makeup.
Hey.
But
It's not
yeah, it's not, and but I went to the bathroom with the bruises, bloody nose, the giant moon scar, and the guy goes, "Oh shit, dude, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's just makeup."
Yes, I did this.
Yeah.
To myself.
It's always so funny when we do makeup and then go out in public. Like we almost got kicked out of Chick-fil-A because I had like 2 or 3 people in makeup, and we went out to eat at Chick-fil-A, and a friend of mine who was dressed up as the Lizard Man, he decided to go in the bathroom and rip his face off before we started eating, and a 5-year-old walked in the bathroom. So, needless to say, Chick-fil-A was not happy with us.
And that 5-year-old now needs therapy.
Yeah,
Probably.
probably needs therapy.
Me looking at some of yourself, I'm like, I'm gonna need mask therapy, or these people need therapy. Someone's gonna need therapy.
And what's odd enough is pretty much everybody that's within this group, like, I'm not the only one that comes up with these ideas.
Yeah.
Like, I'll put them in makeup, the photo shoots and stuff, and like the films and stuff, they bring that to life themselves.
Yeah.
I'll direct as I need to, but that's all them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, not just with like makeup and photo shoots and stuff. I feel like that's anywhere in the arts. I feel
Oh,
like
absolutely.
Because I mean, I'm a film major. I'm a theater minor. I did a bunch of theater in like high school, and it was just collaboration and really coming up with ideas to make, you know, whether it's the show or
Oh,
the
yeah.
movie or photos or makeup the best it can be. Like I know one of the last shows I did was Godspell.
Oh,
This
such a good
was-
show.
Yeah.
I did it twice, and it's one of those shows where it's like really doing it your own way, and the first time I did it wasn't really that fun because it was a community theater show for kids, and we stuck to the script. And then the second time I did it, this was 3 years ago, so about 5 or so years later, and I did it again, and it was more like. The director was more like, okay, the script says, do whatever. I'm like, okay, and everyone was shooting out ideas and so on and so forth. Like one moment, because I did Hairspray in high school my senior year, and I played Edna, and I was doing it like Harvey Fierstein, you know, because he played the part originally on Broadway, and I was doing the show, this show, and there was a moment where I was like one of the angels, I think Abraham or something, and I like the focus turns to me, and I open my mouth, and out comes Harvey Fierstein, and just really having fun with that, doing random voices. I think one moment I tried to do my best Stewie impression from Family Guy, and it's definitely like really just shooting ideas off the director, and he ultimately says yay or nay, you know, but collaboration is definitely.
Oh yeah, and we have a lot of collaboration, especially when it comes to like our huge project, like 31 days that we do every year. I mean, the first year we did it, we were doing 7 or 8 photo shoots a weekend in the month of September to release in October. This year we've been going since June because we've been doing short films and photo shoots. And it's one of those things when it's not like we're like, hey, all of us get together this day, let's shoot something.
Yeah.
We're concepting like months in advance.
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you got to do, especially with film, theater, or whatever, is really just plan it out, because when you actually do the show or to actually go into production, everything needs to be.
So it's kind of like you have a one shot.
Right.
Yeah.
One shot, get it right.
Yep.
And I think it's always kind of on every set, something's gonna go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Something's
absolutely.
planning.
Like, I actually filmed something 2 weeks ago. No, not 2 weeks ago. Last week. Last weekend I was filming something through Flickr, and we were filming at a location. We just kind of something happened, and I got yelled at, and then we had to work something out, and we ended up starting like an hour later than we were supposed to because we had to work things out. And like for me, it was one of those things. It's like I had to do the best I can to be as professional as possible.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was like because I felt like this person, I'm getting yelled at, but it doesn't help if like you hear fight fire with fire. Sometimes you have to get a little water and
Oh yeah.
and put that fire out, and because when someone's yelling at you, if you yell back, that's not gonna help you at all in some situations.
I think the best thing about our group is that because it's all us doing everything and we have like a core group of people who are truly committed to it,
Yeah.
we figure out, okay, we can't meet until midnight on Monday. All right, midnight on Monday, we're gonna start filming this. And we get together and we do it, and we do whatever we have to make it work. And so when things fall apart, like they inevitably will, there are people who are going to come together and say, okay, how are we going to figure it out? And we had so many hiccups with 31 Days this year, and here we are, we're sitting on, what is it, the 22nd now? Mm-hmm. And we have a week left of Halloween, and we've got everything pretty much situated, and if we don't, we'll make it work. And we'll release something every day, no matter what.
And that's the one thing, good thing about this group too, is they're very, very quick to think on their feet.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of hiccups this year as far as getting into the middle of the month and figuring out like 4 of our shoots we won't have, or they're not going to work, or somebody's not going to give them to us, and then everybody as the group is like, okay, what do we need to do? Yeah,
I mean, and that's something you got to do too, is just have like a solid plan and just. Once you pick a day, you can't change it. Because I've had that issue too, where I had another project that ended up not getting finished because just due to scheduling and just poor planning ahead of time, and and I can say for me that was like definitely like a learning, like a lesson learned. Because the 2 film projects that I've done, so like Scared Sheetless, which is the monster, and the bed movie I did, and then the music video, and I'm now in post production for. Like I'm just like, okay. Here's the 2 dates I want to shoot. Everyone who's on part of this project, can you do this weekend? Right. If not, he gets someone else.
Yeah. And we've learned that as well.
We've learned that as well.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, I hate turning people down because it's just, like, that's not my personality, but with film or just any form of art, you kind of...
It's one of those things it's one of those things sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
Like, especially with the type of event or thing that you're working with. Like, with 31 Days this year, like, this was casted in... I think it was like April.
It was before that.
Where it was beginning of this year. We had completely casted it. All 31 concepts. May is when we started writing all the short films. We had 16 short films originally for this year. We had 16 short films, and they were only maybe 5 pages long, so nothing crazy. Right. But it's like we had cast in mind, but it's like, okay, this is how we have so many shoots that we have to get done. This is the schedule we're working with. Who's available? Who can work? And then if somebody couldn't work, we're switching people out.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's one of those things, when it comes to art, sometimes it can't wait.
Right.
And the other thing about our group is they're very open to that. They're like, well, if I can't do this, then there's something else that I can do.
Okay.
And it's not just like films and photos.
Like, I didn't even join the group until April, and I think I'm in
You've
3 or 4
so much.
of the 31 days.
So, I mean, seeing we're talking about 31 days, I guess we one of my other questions will be just like what inspired you to do this, and like the whole 31, kind of do like a photo shoot or like a film like every day out of the month.
So place for Megan too, but like Halloween is our Christmas. Like that is our time of year, and especially for the type of stuff that we do, it's our biggest time of year because everybody wants something crazy or to see the crazier stuff. Everybody's on about the horror movies, the Walking Dead zombies, and everything of that nature. So it was just kind of one of the things of, okay, well, how can we take what we do, incorporate into the Halloween things? It's all year round for us, but it's like every day in the month of October, we release something that's more horror themed, leading up to a big reveal on Halloween. Which our Halloween one this year, I'm so excited for, but I can't say anything about it. Just because it's not released, it's not going to release yet.
Honestly, the last.
I was gonna
couple
say, this is a perfect opportunity to talk about it.
The,
Well,
the last couple days, we have some really big things that we're releasing.
oh yes.
One of them we shot last weekend, actually.
We shot last weekend.
Which, talking about sets going crazy, I mean, that one was messy. It started
was
like
messy.
an hour and a half late. Sammit
The
ended
traffic.
up bleeding.
But it was about the
Yeah.
smoothest sailing set we've done as a group because we had 15 people on set for that one.
Yeah.
It was huge.
It was a 15-person cast.
Technically 2 concepts
Yes, technically
When-
2 concepts.
with 2 different casts.
I have a hole in my foot. I've got a cut in my hand. It was very disgusting.
I drooled on people.
Yeah,
She
we had
drooled
2
on
different
people.
photographers.
2
Yeah.
Are
photographers.
shooting behind the scenes.
Yeah, Megan had her camera running the whole time. So it was, I mean, it was crazy, but in all things considered, it went super smoothly.
Yeah, and it's
Or
one of those
group
things.
shoot.
I mean, to be honest, I didn't think we would be 3 years in and still doing this.
Yeah.
Like, because it's always a tough time of year.
Mhm.
But it's 3 years in, and we're looking to kind of like to one up it every year.
Yeah.
Until then, so it's like I know we have plans to start. Like we're shooting a feature length next year that we're gonna release in Halloween. So it's like there's all kinds of things that we're doing to kind of one up every year, and the group of course is ever changing. So there's always brand new faces
Yeah.
and new people wanting to be involved. Like when we first started, we were at again 20 people. We're now sitting at 66
Yeah.
people within
That's
our
a
core group.
lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really fun, and you know, I'm actually looking forward to the feature length. Now I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys release.
Let's just say it's what kind of hint can we drop to not fully give it away, but for Halloween.
For the Halloween one,
Yeah.
it's definitely something UNCW students are familiar with.
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay.
UNCW does it every year.
Yeah.
Failing.
Oh,
No.
I thought that was just me.
So it's something UNCW does every year,
Okay.
especially around this time of year.
I think I have an idea. I'm not gonna. I'm
Yeah,
not
no
gonna say.
spoilers.
No
I'm not
spoilers.
gonna spoil. I'm assuming the idea is. I think it's something that happened recently, but I'm not gonna say what
It's
it was.
possible.
Maybe.
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 So.
Fuck after the podcast.
So before I kind of jump back, I just wanted to see like how you two kind of like got involved, because I know I've been strictly asking Sammit questions.
Well.
It's fine. It's not about us.
Yeah, talk to them. Talk to them.
It's funny. I was a student here and did a ton of theater. I was in I think 5 or 6 shows while I was here. I had heard from theater people about Goredolls. I had been following them for a while, watched their work, stuff like that. Sammit had seen me in a show, but I'm really like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get real. I'm not one of those people who like after a show, like if I don't know somebody in the audience, I don't just necessarily make my rounds, and I guess that's the wrong way to be, but I'm kind of like I'll come out, and if people are like, hey, good job, I'll talk to them, and I'll be like, thank you so much for coming, but if not, I just kind of leave, and because that's just who I am as a person, like I'll talk to
Same here.
anybody, but I'm just like, I don't know, it's weird for me, so, so she had been to my show, had seen me perform, I came out and I left, and she was like, what a bitch, and I was like,
I was his pity.
and yeah, it was his pity. And so I flash forward a couple months. We were working with a film, or working on a film. It was a horror film called Sideshow, and I had known about it for a couple months, and I knew she was doing makeup for it, and I was very excited about that, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. I'll finally get to meet her officially. So she had friended me on Facebook a couple months ago, and she does makeup on me at the film, and she's kind of like quiet, and I'm like, okay, I wish you'd hate me. And then like literally 2 weeks later, she's like, hey, we're looking for more people to join Goredolls. Message me if you're interested. And I'm like, I'm interested. That's like everything that I love. And so I message her, and we start talking, and eventually I get pulled into the group, and then pretty much went full steam ahead with the group, because it's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and now I'm very lucky to call her my best friend and do whatever I can to help, and I was on almost all the sets for 31 days, I think, in some way trying to help. And
She became official in December.
yeah, so I'm not even quite a year old in the group, and I've been pretty involved with it. But later, now that we're friends and we're close enough to talk about it, she was like, oh yeah, I saw you after Tis Pity, and I thought, wow, what a bitch. She's just like,
I was like, I don't know how to work with her.
so that's kind of how I got involved with it, but it really, when I look at my future and I go, I want us to keep doing this as long as we possibly can. Like, this isn't something that is short term for me. This is something that I have made long term. And I think, I mean, the one downside to our group is because it is a lot of college kids. A lot of them are short term. They're here while they're here in school, and then they leave and they go do other things, which is natural.
Yeah.
But that's just not how I see it for me personally. This is something I want to be a part of for as long as I possibly can be. So.
Yeah, and it's something I can see, you know, for you, and I mean, I've seen you in a lot of the stuff too, and it seems like it's something you guys definitely, it's something that, for the two of you, something you guys were both passionate about.
Very much
you know, it's, like I've noticed, it's not just something that you're doing to help a friend out, it's like you just, even if you guys weren't friends, it just seems like something that you just enjoy doing.
It is.
So.
There's a couple people like that in the group, and like, I mean, Taylor stepped up a lot as far as the group is concerned, especially when this year's been a big year for us, either way. And then Megan came on in April, and I'd never met Megan before.
I've never met Megan before, I'm kidding.
like I knew of Megan, but I never actually met her, and then she joined us in April, and oh my god, I'm so happy she did.
Oh. Yeah, so first of all, it's a lie. We did meet before then.
Very brief, but like we weren't friends.
We never like really.
I knew you were Ginny's roommate. That's
yeah. So basically, how I got involved with the group was both of my roommates last year. Well, one of them had already been working with Sammit and Goredolls for a while, Christine, and my other roommate Ginny saw her casting call, I think last fall or something, asking for people, and I remember her and a bunch of my other friends were signing up to do it and stuff and contacting her, and I was like, oh, I really want to do it, but I don't have time right now, and I don't want to like commit if I'm not going to be able to do it. I don't like to have to back out of things and stuff like that. I like to be full force. So I was like, you know, I guess I won't do it right now, but hopefully next time, like, I'll be able to get in contact with her. And then like I had like heard of her a lot through friends, and I was really mad because they kept talking about their shoots, but they couldn't tell me anything about it.
We are very super secret squirrel.
And I think we saw each other like on Halloween for some party, and then spring rolls around, and that's around when Goredolls started working with Battle House, right?
Yes.
Yeah, started doing
That's
zombie
another story.
nights. And I remember Ginny was talking about it, and I was like, oh, I'm so jealous you get to go and be zombies at a laser tag place. That's the coolest. And
it is.
yeah, and
It's the best.
and then she like is messaging Sammit on Facebook, and she looks up at me and she goes, oh hey, Sammit wants to know if you'd like to fill in as a zombie. And I was like, what? I was yelling in our apartment. I was like, yes, tell her yes in all caps. I'll do whatever she wants.
Zombies are fun. Being one and just doing anything zombie related.
So I filled in for zombie night at Battle House. Had so much fun. It was a weird one. You remember my first night, but but then after that, Sam asked if I wanted to be a part of Goredolls, and I'm so glad that she did. It's been so much fun. It's such a great like community.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Sweet. Cool. Speaking of Battle House, I noticed you guys have flair on, and I know we talked about this before the show. I know you want to do your little spiel.
It's just kind of become, my life is basically Battle House and Goredolls.
Pretty much.
I was one of the very first zombies at Battle House, did it, the original one that we did with them. Have done every one except for one since then, and that was when I was doing a show over the summer, so it just happened to fall on a night when we were doing the show, so I couldn't be there. But it's, I mean, honestly, it's, you know, so many ways, and in so many ways, like, Goredolls has impacted my life besides just the makeup and stuff like that, because that's how I found my job. I am their lead receptionist, and now I'm in charge of a lot of sales and marketing and networking as well.
Networking is key.
It is key.
Regardless of what career you're in, networking is key.
It's all about who you can meet and who you can talk to, and it's wonderful, and I love Battle House, and I will support them forever because I think they're a wonderful company, and our owner is great, and they have supported Goredolls as a company.
Yeah.
They have supported me as an employee, and they want to see me succeed. They want to see us succeed as Goredolls.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're the best group of people.
They
Just
really
all of
are.
them. The owner, Derek, Jesse, the manager, Nate, I mean Taylor, obviously. But it's just like Garrett, all of them. Like they're just a great group of people.
And I mean, and that's what it feels like as an employee, and when we're there as zombies, it feels like we're home. And so it really is. It's a family setting, and it's a small staff, and I think that makes it even better. So
and we've been doing this since February.
it's been months.
And those nights, oh.
It's exhausting.
God.
I mean, I think that's something you can. I guess you can always ask for a job. Is this I know some jobs are probably don't really care what their employees do outside of work. But I feel I think it's great when like jobs support like what their employees got going on outside. Whether it's makeup or theater or film.
And that was the one thing I told them. They hired me, and we're sitting in the meeting afterwards and filling out my W-2s and all that good stuff, and I was like, okay, my only thing is I have to still be a zombie on zombie night. I can't be a receptionist on zombie night. And they're like, we kind of figured that was gonna be a thing.
And it's like and those are fun. Like we've been doing it since February. We've been selling out the zombie nights.
So is it something that you guys do like all year round, or is it?
Yes.
Okay.
We do them typically once a month on a Saturday, normally one of the middle Saturdays in the month. For Halloween, we have done one every single Saturday.
Okay,
and then 2 at Defy Gravity with Battle House.
Yes.
Okay, so you do more specifically in October, but it's something you guys do at least once.
Specifically each week.
Okay. Like what have these themes been?
Murder House was
the first weekend. Second one was Dollhouse.
Dollhouse.
This yesterday was
Sideshow, Clowns.
Funhouse, Clowns.
Funhouse.
And then next week is going to be Asylum for the Halloween.
Okay. Theme of tonight's scary clowns.
Theme of life, scary clowns.
Right.
Yeah. Secret words, scary clowns. Just whole Pee-wee Playhouse. Every time someone says scary clowns, you scream. I used to love that show.
Oh, I did too.
You can't go wrong with Pee-wee. Bringing up Tim Burton again. He did the first movie. You can definitely see it in the large Marge scene. So pretty much the last question I got is apart from the 31 days of Halloween, do you guys do anything like big for Halloween? Just anything special? I know for me, it's trying not to get killed by a guy in a William Shatner mask. I see that, run away with my tail between my legs.
It's honestly 31 days is our biggest thing that we do, and it's one of those things that it's like this year. I think we had upwards of like 40 models and actors, 9 photographers, not counting videographers and things like that. So. I mean, when it comes to Halloween, like this is our big thing. Plus, we're doing a whole bunch of stuff throughout the month with Defy Gravity, Battle House, and things like that. I mean, there's so many more opportunities that are popping up. Like we've got films. We work with the Wilmington Ballet Company as well, so we do a lot of things that way. I mean, we always try to make it a thing to do like a haunted house or something, like to go to one. But it's just like the way that. Kind of how our demand is this year is we don't really have that flexibility of time.
Okay.
But this is our biggest thing. We started shooting in June and we've been shooting up until technically today.
Right.
With everything that's going on, and then we have technically 2 more laser tag nights, and then it comes to the end of our season.
Yeah.
Right.
But we've got other things going on. We're shooting the Goonies next month.
Right.
Yeah.
We're doing some body paint Power Rangers. So plus
that sounds
conventions.
like fun. I want to get in on that.
Yeah.
Goonies and Power Rangers sounds like a fun weekend.
We're shooting Neverland, Wonderland.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not just an October thing.
Yes.
I think our first shoot afterwards is the 5th, November 5th.
Yep.
It's right after.
We have like a 2-day break, and then we're right back at it again.
Sweet. So kind of like a somewhat of a repeat of the same question, but more or less like, what do you guys enjoy doing for Halloween when you're not doing like all your Goredolls stuff, and it's and
Honestly.
Is sleep an appropriate answer?
Right. I was just most likely, everybody's been asking me this question because we tell them we do the zombie nights, we tell them, you know, we're Goredolls and stuff, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, you must love Halloween, and we do.
Yeah.
And like my house has been decorated for the entire month. But
I have a Halloween Christmas tree.
right, it's that kind of dedication.
Skeletree.
But I think really most likely what will probably happen is we'll probably be camped out on the couch watching horror movies with beers because
And
we're
drinking beer.
dead. And that's what we did last Friday, and that's just like what we're doing because
Yeah.
everything else is going into producing beautiful work that we're proud of.
Yeah.
And that's great. Don't get us that is what we're
Mhm.
living for. But at the same time, just, when it comes to like, oh, are we going to go downtown and hang out on Hall? Probably not.
No.
We've dressed up all month. We're just going to sit down and drink a beer and watch horror movies.
And I think it's one of those things that this year, I've dressed up more this year than I have in previous years.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think, like, my biggest plans are maybe, because I think Jigsaw comes out, the new Jigsaw movie comes out,
Probably.
like, this
Yeah, I
week,
don't-
and so
I have
I'm like,
never seen a single Saw movie.
I'm not
See,
into
you're not
them.
missing
And
out.
I'm not into the torture
them.
porn.
No, same. I'm with you on that.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen it either, but I'm thinking Halloween is discount movie Tuesday, so.
Ugh, it is.
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
We go see
I think that's slightly worse.
It was so
No,
Boo one.
we
The
watched-
first Boo. Oh,
We watched the first Boo on Friday
So
with Medea,
good.
and we
Yeah.
laughed so hard.
I was like not expecting it to be that good.
Okay.
And it was not good.
I think my thing is I've tried with Medea movies. It's not my
They're
thing.
hit or miss.
Yeah, they're hit or
it's
miss.
like I've tried, and it's just I'm not a fan myself personally, but I mean I try to understand where like the appeal is. I mean to a point I think I get it, but not my thing. But yeah, to kind of add on to like the Saw, I think the closest I've gotten to enjoying a movie like that is probably Repo the Genetic Opera.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I
I
had to
think-
watch that a couple times to
And
like.
I think it's because for me it's like a musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like like
So
a musical where
celebrated,
people are singing about ripping out organs and stuff, and I think I think what got me interested in actually seeing it, apart from the fact that it was a musical, is that you got Giles from Buffy in it, and,
Yeah.
Yep.
and you got the girl
Sarah
from.
Brightman, Alexa Vega from Spy
Yeah, I was
Kids.
gonna say, but I mean, it was more of the Giles and Alexa Vega from Spy Kids, and I think, and for me, it's at this
Paris
point.
Hilton.
Yeah, that could have done without Paris Hilton. But I know for me that was like I'm a huge Buffy fan. I've seen grew up watching Buffy, and it was like and at this point I had not seen the the musical episode of Buffy.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's such a good
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
I love that.
so I was like 15 or 16, and I hadn't seen the musical episode of Buffy, even though I grew up with the show. And I watched that movie. I'm like watching the first half of it with my mom. She hates those kinds of movies. She hates that movie. But I remember we were sitting there and we were both like, "Holy shit, Giles can sing!"
Yeah.
Because I not knowing that at that point, I was like, wait, what? He's got some chords.
He can sing.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think I went and saw it. So I actually saw the musical episode of Buffy after that, and it was just like, yeah, now I know he can sing. Okay,
Yeah. He can sing.
out of everyone in this episode, he's got the
Yeah.
best voice,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
my personal
hard.
opinion. You can tell that he had some training at least. It's not just the talent, but definitely he was trained to sing and stuff like that. But God bless that man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing Sweeney Todd, the Johnny Depp version, and
Such a good movie.
yeah, I love that movie. Can't go wrong with well, most of the time you can't go wrong with the Depp Burton combo, and I mean, and that was like the perfect movie for both of them. And but I remember sitting in the theater with my mom, and like that scene. It was I think it was right after the Pirelli scene.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all talking, and then out of the blue, some random guy comes up to Johnny Depp and just starts complimenting on him. And they show his face. I'm started freaking out in the middle of my seat, just like, oh my god, it's Giles, it's Giles. One of those moments where it's like you just get excited just because of something pure nostalgia in a movie. I mean, that's all the questions I got. I mean, and we still got a few minutes, and I figured I'd open this up to see what you guys want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean,
And
yeah, like us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like
And
us on
Battle
Facebook.
House. Like Battle House too.
like Battle House too.
Yeah.
You guys got a website people can go to.
Yep,
and-
you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Goredolls Productions, or you can search for Goredolls, or most of the theater department here, and some of the film students, they're on there as well, so I'm sure you can find it on there.
There's an
Um,
Instagram.
There is an Instagram, which is at Goredolls. There's a Twitter, which is at Goredolls, Goredolls.com. We also have a Snapchat. We're a little bit of everywhere.
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel. There will be behind the scenes eventually. I'm working on it.
BTS is important.
Yes,
It is.
Working on getting enough footage to cut together, but it'll be good.
But the thing is too is like a lot of the BTS footage she has, those sets haven't been released yet.
So we can't
Yeah.
release them.
So we can't release them.
And what I found, which is hilarious, because we have such an animated group of people,
Yes.
as soon as I turn the camera on them, everyone gets quiet. Like, why are you doing that to
I
me?
don't feel like I have that problem.
No, I don't feel like we had that problem.
For
2
me,
Sundays
with
ago.
my theater friends from high school, we never had that problem. Like even when I was doing theater, I still had the passion for doing film. So sometimes I would bust out my camera and film like parties and get-togethers and stuff, and it was just like the hogging of the camera, and
Yeah.
like no one was shy. Like guaranteed, when you get a bunch of theater people together, 9 times out of 10, maybe 9.5 times out of 10. Someone's gonna burst out into song.
Yes.
If not everyone.
Yep.
I mean, that was my experience. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't done a musical in 3 years, and I still burst out into the occasional song, musical number or otherwise.
Right.
It's-
You
right.
just have to sometimes.
Yeah, it's like it's a blessing and a curse. So, if something makes you think of a song, you have to burst out into that song again, musical number or otherwise.
Yeah, and kind of picking up back off that too, it's like when we're on set, like we're just a crazy group of people. Like we're crazy, we're fun, but we're also like a really big family too. Like we all look out for each other, we all support each other. And I mean, we're always also looking for fresh faces and things to work with, because I mean the group is ever changing.
Right.
Like every year around this time, like we have people who only will do 31 days, and then
Yeah.
we've got people who work all year round. Like it's like 10 people that are constantly working.
Yeah.
So we're always looking for new faces too. So even if people have seen us and they actually want to be a part of the group or even try it out, especially because special effects it's fun and it's different, because it gives you the ability to be somebody else.
Absolutely.
Just shoot us a message, find me on Facebook or even Taylor.
Yeah.
And just reach out to us, and we'll be happy to talk to you and see if you want to join our crazy group type thing.
Yeah, I will say it's an entirely different experience, like being on a photo shoot for Goredolls than any other photo
Yeah,
shoot.
it's really
I
different.
know I did one the other week with one of our photographers, Dan Wheat Rivers, and it was
I
just
love
me.
Dan.
And I was so awkward, like considering how many shoots I've done with Goredolls, just because like when you're doing one with Goredolls, you're someone else and you're a character and you're supposed to be crazy and weird, but then when you're just yourself, it's just so different. So I definitely enjoy like getting to embody characters. Sammit knows my favorite's dolls.
A favorite, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things too, is when you come on one of our sets, you can be yourself. Like it's not like you have to, you don't have to be a certain way or act a certain way or come like dressed to the nines or anything.
Yeah.
Like you come how you feel comfortable, and then
Absolutely.
we'll turn you into whatever. And then if you've never modeled before, okay, we'll coach you on what to do.
Yeah.
If you've never acted before, okay, we'll try it out. Like if you ever want to try it, then we'll do that. We're super awful, oh well. We'll work with it. We'll work with you. I mean, a lot of the models and things that we work with have never, ever done modeling or never, ever done acting before. Like, Nick Sattore, he's one of the original OGs. Like, he's been here since the beginning in 2014. And he's never really done the acting thing too much with us. And this year he did. He was an actor in one of our short films for 31 days, and he
did a great job.
he was
Great
incredible.
job.
He impressed all of us.
Yeah, I actually had the pleasure of directing him. It was one that I wrote and then directed myself, and so we were kind of like, okay, let's see how this is gonna go. And he took direction super well. It was fun on set, and we would laugh and like, you know, make inappropriate jokes in between takes, and then suddenly it'd be like camera was on and we were all serious. And so it really is, I think it's beneficial when you're working with the same group of people because it is less intimidating.
Yeah.
Being on a film set, you can kind of feel like, all right, it's professional. It needs to always be professional, but it should still be fun.
Yeah,
because you can see that in the work.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I love about doing student films here on campus is just that, I mean, with my experience of doing these films, it's like the same people over and over again, and it's people you're familiar with, and you know, still we have that sense of, try to have that sense of professionalism, because I mean, that's how we're gonna learn to do these jobs well, especially if it's like something we're passionate about. But but at the same time, it's like having some fun because we're all friends, and so we all know each other, and so we have a good time. And and definitely when you get into a more professional setting, because I've done internships and stuff with people who are more professional, and it's absolutely intimidating.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I go in like I've done internships where every single day I just I'm very cautious. So I think we are out of time, so we're gonna wrap it up. I'm just want to thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
No problem. It was just a pleasure talking to you guys, and it was fun. So
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
and so for our listeners and eventual watchers, check Goredolls out. It's gonna be fun.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, we'll come back and talk to you anytime you want.
all right.